Showtime. Welcome to the Rosie and Bill show. We met our guest this week at the East Coast Music Hall of Fame Gala back in June and had so much fun with them. They were such good sports that we said, you guys have to come on our show. And here they are. So we would like to welcome this week on the Rosie and Bill show, the Skyliners with Jim Gregorakis.
Hello.
And then we have Eric Bruce.
Hello.
Donna Groom.
Hi.
And John Sarkis. Welcome, everyone.
Hey. Hi.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bill and I were talking about this because you have been singing together for a long time, but how did you actually come together as the Skyliners?
Oh,
Donna, I think you best answer that.
You mean as the way we are right now?
Yes. Well, were you with the group, Donna, prior to being with these gentlemen?
Oh God, yes. 40 years. Yeah. I'll be doing, when January comes, it'll be 42 years. And Jimmy passed 4 years ago, and I'd worked with a lot of different members up until that point. Rick Morris was a member. He was hired at the same time I was. And, we went as we were for a good, I don't know, maybe 15 years, maybe almost 20. And then, one member would leave and would get another one. But Jimmy was always the lead. And, up until 4 years ago, Jimmy's passing, we had 3 contracts left and they were out of town. Jimmy passed in October, and we had contracts for November, December, and I checked with all the promoters and I said, are you okay with me having someone else? And they said, yes, we're fine. We want the Skyliner music. I said, wonderful. So I had met John kind of by accident. His group was playing at the casino in Pittsburgh, and I could just see that he could sing anything. His voice was so adaptable to so many different styles, and he could sound any way he wanted to sound. And I thought, boy, is he good. So when the time came, I called on him and I said, would you be interested in helping us get through these 3 contracts? I didn't ask him to join yet because I thought, we don't know how this is going to work out. So he was wonderful, and everybody loved it. They really did. He went over really well. So at the end of that, I asked him to stay. Well, then, there was another member who decided he wanted to leave. After Jimmy was gone, he was friends. He was closer with Jimmy and just decided that he didn't want to participate anymore. And so, I had people leaving. And I had to, I think, I think we had Jimmy first, and then we added Eric. And there were a few in there that tried, but they just didn't work out. And it's okay. We said it just didn't work. And not to be mean, but this is a vocal group. We spend a lot of time together. We're on the road. We're in each other's face. We're rehearsing. It's very important that we have somewhat of a family, situation. And so this has worked out, and this is the closest it's actually been. Skyliners right now, I would say, sound as good, if not better, than what we had before. And I would even put it against, even years ago, when it was like I don't want to say my favorite Skyliners, but the one that I started with. It's a lot of years, and you change, your voice changes, everything changes, but you have to keep that momentum going. You have to keep the I don't know I don't know the word to use. The essence of the group, the Skyliners, have to be there no matter what.
Yes.
And I think we've been able to do that.
It's interesting because when COVID hit, everything stopped. And we just, when you're handed lemons, you make lemonade. So we rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. We saw
Wait a
each
minute,
other.
I have to interrupt you, Jim. How did you rehearse with the pandemic? Did you still get together, or did you do things online? Because it's very challenging to sing online with the latency.
No, you can't. You can't do that. So what we did, we were very careful. We showed up with masks, and when we felt comfortable enough, we stood far enough away. But we rehearsed, and we got it down to, probably one of the best sounding units I've ever been in. And so, it's worked out great, because the way we did it was my wife would make lunch for everybody. We'd show up for rehearsal. And then later on, we go out on the patio and have some wine, so it was like an event. So what's happened is these guys are like my brothers from another mother, and she's my sister from another mister. So,
well, I think you need to add too that you and Eric go back how many years?
Oh God, we were like kids.
And Jim and I have known each other, been performing together for 40 years. So we were already kind of, Jim and I were tight, and Eric and Jim were tight. And I met Eric through Jim, and it was, again, just a kind of a good natural fit. So when I came into the band and we needed the other players, I suggested both of these guys, because I knew that, we were already, in knowledge of each other, and that we've worked together very well. And I thought it would just be a good, easy transition. And it turned out that it was. So, it was kind of almost like taking another whole segment that was already put together and just adding it, and it just worked seamlessly. It was great.
Yeah, interesting piece of it too is one of the guys who actually came into the group with Donna was Rick Morris, and Rick and I actually started our first group together about 54 years ago, and he's the guy that I replaced when I came to the Skyliners. So it's what goes around comes around, I guess. He's still an absolute great friend of mine. Hard to replace, but I'm giving it my best shot.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably keep you.
Derek, you definitely are an asset to the group. You give it an entirely beautiful round sound. I'm extremely happy with you.
Well, thank you very much, Donna. I work hard at it.
I know you do.
One thing I have to just say right now is that when I listen to the time frames that you guys are talking about, like Eric, you just said 54 years, Donna, 40, it's clear. And I mentioned this, I think, back when we met in AC, because someone had said something about Donna performance for 40 years. And I said, oh, she started singing when she was 1. Well, clearly all of you started at 1 or 2 years old.
Thank you for that. I'll send you a check.
Yeah, right.
It is amazing. And one other thing I want to touch on real quick too, back with regard to when we met in Atlantic City, is actually there's another one. John, I want to thank you. Before I forget, I'm pretty sure that you are instrumental in our viewership going up exponentially these last couple of weeks, because at the end of the interview, you had to be held back from jumping through the screen and going to people's houses if they didn't watch our show. And ever since then, we've been setting records week after week after week. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. I don't know if any of that's true, but years ago, I produced and hosted a few television shows. And anytime we were interviewing celebrities on the show, they would offer to, if they didn't offer to do liners for us, which is, simply a piece that airs that says, hey, I'm so-and-so, and when I'm in town, I always watch, blah, blah, blah. If they didn't offer to do that, we would ask, would you mind doing a liner or two? Because those things, they help, if it's just like if you see some celebrity on TV selling, pillows or whatever, if there's somebody with credibility saying you should do this, people do it. So I don't know how much credibility I have, but, I'm glad it worked for you.
It was fun and it was appreciated. And there was one other thing that was evident to Rosie and I that night, and that is that keeping this music alive is very important to you guys. And can you talk to us about why that is? Why is it so important to keep this music alive?
This is the music that created it all. This is the emotion that people feel when they hear music is generally coming from this era. And if you hear this music, it stays with you for life. People our age and even younger recognize this music. They love it. And that's why we want to keep it alive. But we're doing something different. We realize that the next generation of people, listeners, is a little bit younger. So we're moving our repertoire kind of into the next decade and singing music that is a little more modern, a little more 70s, 80s, rather than 50s and 60s. So that's been a real successful thing for us as well.
Yes.
Also, if you talk about the essence of the Skyliner music, based on what Jimmy Beaumont and Joe Rock did for us, Since I Don't Have You has been re-recorded by over 100 different artists. Sinatra, Streisand,
Millsap.
Yeah, Ronnie Millsap, even Guns
Patti
N'
LaBelle.
Roses. Patti LaBelle. But when I saw the video from Guns N' Roses doing this, I'm like, really? Wow. So, if you have a piece of music that, that so many people, it becomes a standard.
It is a standard. Yeah. It is absolutely a standard.
Yeah. And, when you have a piece of music that becomes a standard, so many people in the world know it. I've talked to younger people who have no idea who the Skyliners are, but as soon as I start singing that song, they go, "Oh, I know that song." So,
it's funny. We did that show in Pittsburgh a few weeks ago, and this lady came up to me at the end of the show crying. She said that was the song that my husband and I loved so much, and when you sang it, she couldn't hold back the tears, and it was touching. So there's a lot of stories that are accompanying this song and the rest of our music, and we'll keep that alive.
Another amazing thing is when we are doing our concerts, in a lot of cases, we have very young people who actually attend these concerts with their older adult family members. And when it's all said and done, they're the ones buying our CDs. They've never heard this music, and they find out that they actually love it. And they're buying our CDs, which is kind of a shock to us, but we're real happy about that.
I think when you look at all the other alternatives out there for music, this is going to hold up because there's actually a melody, there's a groove to it, but there's an actual song, a melody, and somebody can sing a lyric. It's not just riffs.
Well, it's the music of people. It's the music of people's lives.
Yeah. So
and not just ours. Take any good piece of music. Somebody had something happen memorable in their life about it. I can think of songs that take me back to when I was a teenager with my first girlfriend. It had an impact then, and it has the same impact now when I hear it.
Right.
So,
me
very
too.
relatable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's relatable. So would you say that when someone comes up to you who is young, or even someone older, like Jim said, who is so touched, is that one of the most gratifying things about
Oh,
doing
yeah.
this work?
Absolutely.
that's,
More
you
than
know,
Absolutely.
we make people happy. That's so important. I want people to walk away with a smile on their face and a memory in their heart, and you know, happy that they were there.
Yeah, it's like going to a good movie or a good play or, you know, a theater or anything. If we can take you away from your troubles and your concerns and the pressure of
Yep.
life for a moment and just make you
It's worth
forget
it.
about everything and bring you to a time and place where, you know, things were better or fun or good or memorable or whatever, then we've succeeded, you know, and that's what we endeavor to do is, I mean, we're doing the same thing to ourselves when we're on stage. You know, we're going on that ride with you. You know, it's like, hey, jump in my car, let's go. We're gonna take a ride. You know, and
Right.
we get the pleasure out of it, and we try to bring that pleasure. I think it's obvious when we're on stage. I mean, if you see us performing, we're smiling, we're happy. It's not like, oh God, I got to go back on do this gig again. I got to sing this song one more time. Oh my God, no, we're like, come on, you ready? Right, let's go do this. Let's go do this. Come on, I want to, you know, we're happy.
It's-
We want to do this.
Do every time
Yeah,
because of the
yeah.
audience, because it's a different exchange.
Right.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
where we just performed recently in Michigan, in Dearborn, the audience, you would think they haven't seen a live performance in 30 years. I mean, these people they were like weren't they? They were like,
Oh, they were so appreciative.
oh my God,
That
they
was
were
great.
like yelling and screaming and standing
Yeah.
ovations. And yeah, they were just, you know, and then that fires us up. And then you know, it's just it just goes back and forth, you know?
Bottom line, we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's very important. And well, speaking of fun now, Bill and I want to have a little fun with you guys.
Oh boy.
So
Ruh-roh.
this is a little segment where we're going to ask a few questions here, kind of in rapid fire fashion, okay, to get your responses, and then we'll come back to something a little more serious, but we'll have a little fun first. So
Good.
here we go.
Fun is good.
I've got the first two. First question. Who among you would be the first person to answer a question in an interview?
Jim.
That's easy. It's always Jim.
Is it safe to say then, if I was to ask who is the most outgoing, would it be the same answer or a different one?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
Pretty much the
But
same.
that might be because he's 6'3" and people who are bigger have more confidence.
I'm so embarrassed.
True.
Okay, my question. Who is the shyest member of the group?
Oh, Eric, definitely Eric.
I'm
Yeah.
not shy.
You are.
You just don't know. I'm not.
You're not shy with us. You're not shy with us. I think. Anyway,
Who's the group comedian?
Donna.
Jim. No, Jim is.
No,
I've
that's
been
Jimmy.
told I'm funny. I'm sarcastic, and I don't know if that's a good thing, but yeah, I
That's Jimmy.
probably am looking for the most fun way out
Right.
of saying something to get a rise. You know?
Do you tell
Yeah.
jokes on stage, Donna?
Oh my yes.
From time to time.
Oh yeah. Like when I'm in a dress and I play the piano, I
Oh,
would say,
boy.
okay, I'm gonna have to try to keep my legs together.
Oh my God.
It always gets a roar out of that one. But you know, I mean, but that's just me. I'm not afraid to say something. I'm like, you know, we command the stage right now. You can say whatever you want
That's
within
right.
reason. You know,
Right.
I'm not filthy, but you know what I mean.
Okay, so next question, because you guys travel together, so therefore you must go out to eat together. Who is the most finicky eater in the group? Is there
We'll
a
eat anything.
Sally from When Harry Met Sally in the group?
We don't have one of those people.
I
No.
don't think so.
You put
We
it in
don't
front
have
of
one
us and
those
we'll
people.
eat it.
Yeah, right.
No,
Okay,
we
that's
well, I'll tell you, there was a member who will remain nameless who was very picky.
Oh,
And
geez.
one time we all went out to eat. We were all eating these delicious meals at this fabulous restaurant. and he ordered, in essence, he ordered a canary.
It was a squab. We went to this great Greek restaurant in Detroit. I mean, everybody we had everything. Pasticcio, moussaka, dolmades. We had everything. He orders a canary. It's about this big.
Yeah.
It was a
And then
squab. It was a squab.
Who would be the last, or who would be the most likely to be late arriving to the airport when you guys were
They
traveling?
put you up to this, didn't they?
Donna.
No,
Whoa,
No,
it's-
you know
it's-
what it is, Donna? I sing
What
with a
is it?
female trio. So some of these questions are coming from my own experience.
I
Women.
thought they put you up to this, honest to
No.
God, because they
No.
know.
Does that mean
They
it's
know.
you?
Donna.
Yes.
But we love you,
Careful.
Donna.
Mhm.
But we still love you.
We call it, as a matter of fact, we call it Donna Standard Time.
Donna Standard
We
Time.
refer to it.
Oh my God. Don't you remember, it was like, I was to meet in the lobby when we were all going. And this was a former member who was like, you could just see his attitude. I came running downstairs. I was about 3 minutes late, literally, because I was careful. And 3 minutes. So I walked into the lobby and he says, "Do you know what time it is?" And I said, "You have a watch?" I go, "No, do you have a watch?" I thought he wanted to know what time it was. Not, "Why are you late?" Oh,
Okay.
wow.
He's no longer a member of the group, right?
And that's
Yeah.
why.
No,
And
we
I'm-
shot
I'm fired for
Yeah.
that comment.
But guess what? We always go on stage when we're supposed to. We always, that's the thing. The bottom line is we always end up there. If you're one of these people who has to just be ready 1,000 hours before time and you're going to stand there all the time, I'm not going to do that. I'll be there.
We
You
never
know
miss
it?
a
I'll
cue.
be there. Leave me alone. I'll be there. I might
Sounds like
not
a
have
song.
lipstick on or earrings, but I'll be there.
Yeah, we might be running when we get there, but
But
we'll
your
be there.
voice is so
I'll be there.
fabulous that it doesn't matter. All right, last question in this arena. Who would you say is the most meticulous or a stickler about your harmonies and your blend?
Oh,
We'll be
Donna.
Donna.
Oh,
You
Donna.
better say that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
She's-
show you the scars from when you make a mistake. Here, look at this back
Yeah.
oh, wait.
She
I
is
only-
why we are good. She really
We
is
all
truly.
care.
She's
We
the
all
secret
care.
sauce.
We
I'll
all-
tell you what, let me be honest with you. Donna is a schooled musician. She's been to college. She understands the ins and outs of harmonies. And when we put harmonies together, they're not just triads. They're not DooWop harmonies. We're talking about very intricate harmonies with sixths and sevenths and 13ths and 11ths and what have you. And that's what
And
sets
the
us
rub.
apart. That sets us apart from other groups. And I think we've got some of the best harmonies in the business because of Donna, that girl down
Really?
there. See,
Yeah, really.
Oh, go
You-
on.
that's
if we
enough.
go-
I'm not saying any more.
If we happen to be someplace where somebody is singing one of our songs as a cover song, it may sound very pretty. They may do a really good job with it, but we know, what the harmonies are supposed to be at that particular point, and we know that those folks aren't singing that. They're putting something together that's nice. It's good, but it's not the Skyliner harmonies. That's how they
Right,
were
that's
originally
fine.
structured. And
That's
Donna's
okay.
kept that true throughout the years, making sure that whoever was a part of the group maintained those specific notes and tones and blends to assure that the Skyliner harmony would always be intact.
Well, to keep that up to snuff obviously takes rehearsal. How often do you rehearse? Because I've talked to some bands who out at the festivals where we perform sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, we live all over the country, so we give you your part, you learn it, and we just show up." And then,
We're
but do
very
you guys
fortunate.
work that way, or do you get together?
We're
No, we get
fortunate
together.
because we live close to one another.
Well, yeah,
I mean-
we live close enough.
And,
Yeah.
and so we can rehearse. During COVID, it was like every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, it's maybe every couple of weeks we'll get together and just brush up on certain things. Mostly it's a social hour, you know. We'll eat
Well,
something.
there's other aspects of performing too. You know, there's a lot of logistics that have to be discussed. There's you know, costume coordination, new costume purchases, new song acquisitions, parts assigning, and so on and so forth. But just in general, yeah, at least once or twice a month to assure that, you know. But if we're doing like 4 or 5 jobs in 1 month, sometimes you don't have that opportunity to rehearse. You're going from state to state, and you know, but in that case, you don't need the rehearsal as much.
I want to just switch gears real quick because I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you guys about something that I heard, and I want to see if it's true. And that
No, it's not true. Hey, listen,
We did not do it.
Hey, man. Hey.
here's my actual question. Is it true that there's some new music, maybe a new CD in the works?
We're working on it. To be announced. Well, we do have this.
Oh, you can't see it
Oh, you can't see
with
it. How
your
about now?
virtual back. Oh, a little bit. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Now
there's a
flip it.
little blurb in here by Tony Orlando. He wrote, anytime you see the word Skyliners attached to any recording, stop in your tracks, buy it, and listen, because the Skyliners never have done anything but greatness. Tony Orlando said that.
Wow.
No, on the back of that same CD, one of the most recent things that we've put out there that's new and original is a Christmas song called "Dancing in the Snow." It's a wonderful tune. It came from our friends down in Nashville, and they wrote that for us. They have other songs coming to us, and there's certainly some potential that in the future you're going to be hearing some new Skyliner material.
Well, we certainly look forward to it.
If anyone wants to buy one of our CDs, they can go to our website, which is www.theskyliners.com. And the music, and the money from the CD goes to a very worthy cause. It's called the Poor Musicians Fund. That's us.
PMF. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Amen to that. Very good. Well, we know that you are all going to continue to wow the audiences and stay very busy through the end of the year. And Bill and I certainly look forward to hearing your next CD. And we thank you so much for coming on the show.
Before we go, let me just say that this is an announcement for those people who are watching. Please support the East Coast Music Hall of Fame, who keeps this music alive.
And a special thanks to you two for putting on a show such as this, because, you know, it's as important as what we do. You know, I mean, it's essential, and people want to know about artists and about, you know, history and about backstories and so on and so forth. And if
you guys are doing a great job.
If you weren't doing what you do, so it's very important, and we thank you.
Keep up the good work.
We'll be happy to talk to you anytime.
Yeah,
for sure.
And about that $50 you owe me. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Hey,
well, one thing is for sure, and again, I really appreciate that, Jim. I appreciate you also saying that about the East Coast Music Hall of Fame, because we've had some great opportunities working with that organization. That's where we met you guys back in June, and we had the opportunity to put together the 2-part special that so many folks have watched, thanks to John's encouragement, of course. But there's one other thing I know, and I'm going to end with this, and that is you guys are doing a great job of keeping the music alive. And with you continuing to do what you do, the music won't just be alive, it will also be well. So thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And folks, we'll see you next week.